Okay, hi, welcome to the IPI Converse podcast. And this is my first time on the podcast. I'm Craig Farley, Head of Solution Consulting at IPI.
I'm Iain Bennett, also first time at the IPI Converse suite. So looking forward to it. Thank you for having me, Craig.
You're welcome. And we're going to be talking about AI today. So AI agents, where do you see that taking us? Are they going to be these all-knowing, all-powerful, self-controlled bots that are going to be able to do everything for us?
Yes, in some respects, yes. In some respects, no. The respects for no is probably what you're seeing out there at the moment being classed as AI agents. A lot of those, when you actually look at them, aren't full-on AI agents. So I think you have to fully appreciate what AI agent is. And an AI agent is where you get a sub-level of thinking. What that means is that, say, for instance, if I was going over to America, needed to get a business trip to America. Now, I would say to Mike is my AI, machine intelligence knowledge engine, Mike. That's the name I gave my AI. If I said to Mike, right, I want you to go and book me up for a meeting over in New York.
Make sure if it's a business trip that they're not their economy flights, yeah.
To push for business class. But yeah, obviously we would set Mike would already know what those are because it would have those stipulations from the business. Same with the hotels prices. It would know what prices of hotels that I'm allowed to go up to. So Mike would know that I've got a business meeting, say for Monday, over in New York. And that's all I need to say to Mike is organise it. So my AI agent at this point would go away. It would work out, okay, I need to book a flight. I need to book the hotel. I also then need to book your travel to and from both airports. And it would work all of this out. But it also got access to your calendar. So it would also work out when you need to get back as well. So it'd be able to do all of this programming for you, or all of this, not programming, but setting up planning for you. And that's the sub-level of thinking that we're starting to move into with AI, where it can actually start to think for itself. Okay, I need to do this, but I also need to do this, and I also need to do that. So that sub-level of thinking is where AI agents are really coming in. So when they talk about AI agents, if it hasn't got a sub-level of thinking, it's AI. It's the AI that we use today. But when we move into the next level of AI, agnostic AI, that's where we get this sub-level of thinking. So if it's got a sub-level of thinking, that is the new AI agents. And yeah, that is where we will start to see things starting to change. Now you'll get AI agents talking to humans, so interacting with humans. So that could be at the contact center, where it's got that sub-level of thinking. Now that sub-level of thinking could be classed as empathy, but we still need to build on empathy to make sure that it's proper empathy rather than a sub-level of thinking, rather than a sort of false empathy, if you like. And that's one of the things that we've got to make sure that we don't do. We don't rush to try and pretend that it's empathetic, because it might not be empathetic, and then cause damage to the brand. So those agents are going to come in. They are absolutely going to change the way we deal with things. You'll get AI agent to AI agent, where they're just both talking to each other. So I might have my AI agent go off and book all of this, but actually it's not booking it with a person, it's booking it with another AI agent. We're going to see the way that AI agents are changing the actual technical scope as well. So for instance, everything for the last 5-10 years has been built on APIs. Mm-hmm. We're going to see that start to change. So that's going to move into more like MCPs. It's at the moment, MCPs is winning the sort of battle compared to APIs. It's like Betamax versus
VHS.
VHS, that's it. Yeah. VHS 1.
You're showing our age now.
I am, and also I'm showing my age because I have the Betamax. That's why I forgot the VHS. But we see that war coming in. But MCPs will be easier because the agents will be able to talk a lot quicker. So it's going to be so much more open. Not security, but it's going to be an easier, quicker way for agents to talk to each other.
Because in your example there, the AI that's going to book a trip, the consumer side, the customer side, from talking to an AI point of view, we're pretty much there in terms of when you talk to a co-pilot, it sounds really great. Other AI models that have chat functions are available, but it understands what you're trying to do.
Yep.
It could summarize that, and it could build an itinerary. I think then looking at it from a technology point of view, it's having those integrations, because then I'm seeing, okay, well, that's multiple different vendors with multiple different integration points, and trying to do multiple different back end fulfillment tasks. And that's probably where we're further away at the moment. It's not so much the AI side and the understanding, it's the tying all this stuff together and making it seamless, I would have thought.
Yeah. And that is where it's coming. So that's where we're just entering that sort of scope now, where everything will start to change so that it can work and everything's sort of seamless, as it were. I think you're right with what you were saying. I think the AI agents will start to integrate to Amazon, obviously Alexa. You'll see it in Google's on the home hubs, and I think then that becomes a very good consumable AI agent. You don't need to know that you're using an AI agent. It's only going to be the sad people like myself that go, "Oh, it's an AI agent." But that feel of being able to say, "Can you do this?" and it go away and do it, and you feel like you've got your own personal assistant, absolutely brilliant.
So from a business side, then what do we need to do to prepare for that?
And so there's lots of things that we can do to prepare. One of the big things is to make sure that our data is ready. And this is AI across the board. Your data needs to be ready. Because again, if you come in and you say, I want AI is going to be using data, lots and lots of data. The better the AI works, the better the data it's got. Obviously, you can use commercial LLMs, absolutely, but you're still going to want your own data somewhere. So your data's got to be prepared and ready. And I think you hit on this earlier, having a good AI strategy. So even if you're not looking to implement AI at the moment, you're getting yourself ready so that when you do have something that can implement AI, you're ready to do it. You're already ready, and you're there, and you can move then quicker, rather than then trying to play catch up of, right, okay, well, that will be resolved by AI. Oh, we need to get our data cleaned. So getting it all ready now will really pay off in the future anyway, even if you're not putting in AI at the moment.
In terms of whether you're using AI or not yet, I think you need to have some guidelines in place that are there to say what your company does feel is acceptable for AI, what tools you should be using, where you're going with AI. And actually, your employees, they're going to know that tools are out there. They're free, they're available, and they're going to speed up their jobs. So they're going to want to use them, whether you implement them now or not. So you need to be clear on what they can and can't use as well, I think.
Yeah, I think that's really, really good. Statement, to be fair. I think you're right. I think it doesn't matter what business you are, having a set of guidelines around AI absolutely needs to be in there. I think one of the things that I've always tried to say, and it doesn't matter whoever I'm talking to, the starting conversation is always about the way that AI works. And I think the very first thing that you've got to understand is that once AI's learned something, you can never go back. You can never take that back. Never go back into its brain and take that away. And it doesn't matter what it is. So it doesn't matter whether it's irrelevant to you or whatever, it will still have that information inside it. So I think customers have to be, and companies have to be really, really careful around knowing that the AI data can be saved. Because at that point, you've got to make sure that you never give it anything that's sensitive information. Because if you do, you are going to break the PA, but we're not going to be able to pull it out either. So even though you've broken that data protection, you also can't get it out. It's the first time that we've ever had anything that you can put into that you can't take back. So I think from that aspect, it's absolutely wise to have some guidelines in your business, but it's also wise to know that when you're talking about taking on AI, because they're the probing questions that you need to be making. Is where does my data go? I think we were saying this earlier, but where does my data go? Does it get saved into the LLM? how long does it get saved? You know, if it's in log files, how long does it get saved in log files? So those are the real sort of questions that we need to be asking to make sure that our customers' data is safe.
Who are your sub processors? What are their policies? Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. And that's changing all the time. I mean, we're starting to see DeepSeek come out, but DeepSeek not online, because I'd never touch it online. But you can have like local hosted versions of DeepSeek where you can test to make sure it's not talking to the internet, and it doesn't. But then you've got your own LLM actually inside your sort of your business. So therefore, you've got your own LLM, and that's absolutely brilliant. You know that your data's staying there, so you could actually then start using sensitive information into the LLM. But you could almost trash it, like tear it down each night and build a new copy of it, so you know you're not saving that data. But when you're talking about using commercialized LLMs, you've got to be ever so careful with that data.
Yeah,
absolutely.
And you were mentioning about being prepared for AI, even if you're not using AI. And this might be a weird place to probably end the podcast, but you've got to have your data in place. I think there's so many things you can do before you bring AI on that's going to improve your business, but also gets you more ready for AI when it does come. So I'm thinking integrations to CRM and using data there. You can use that without AI to affect routing, provide information to agents. Really good, powerful, fairly easy starting point. What legacy systems have you got, and do they have integrations available, particularly APIs? And then also, do you have a knowledge base? Do you have your knowledge centralized somewhere, and is it in a good way? Is someone managing that, keeping it up to date? All really good things you could be doing that don't necessarily have to involve AI, but will put you in a much better place for when AI comes.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what you said there is really good. I mean, if you've got your CRM already integrated into your CCaaS or whatever provider, like however your contact center is or on-prem, absolutely, that's brilliant, because you've already got that information coming backwards and forwards. So if you start to put in like when we do come to AI, if you bring in auto summarization, well, you just push it into the same CRM.
Big saving.
Absolutely. Yeah, you're ready to have that in there. The knowledge base, and this is huge. I mean, we've had customers that have come to us and they say, oh, this is my knowledge base. But it actually needs rebuilding because the knowledge base has got out of hand. So getting that knowledge base ready for AI, absolutely, again, is a massive time saver for when you want to implement AI, because otherwise you're going to find that when you sit down with the specialists, they're going to turn around to you straight away and go, yeah, that really needs tidying up, because the AI is not going to be able to work out which one of these to pick because it's not in the format or it's not right. So it's just how do your agent search through this? Well, so-and-so knows how to do this, that, and the other. And then you start to find that actually the knowledge base really does need looking at. So getting those things ready straight away, absolutely.